Everybody's happy. What else do we have?
Dark blue.
Dark blue. Do we have any purple? Okay, feeling kind of romantic. Very good. Okay, what other colors do we have? Anybody have green? Okay, that's very active. Now let me share with each of you that for a living, I'm a marketer. I own a marketing firm called Miracle Resources, and basically what we do is we go around the country and we work with businesses because unfortunately their ad campaign, their brand says one thing and they're projecting something else. Isn't it kind of like our mood ring? See, if my mood ring was black, which would mean anxious or overworked or stressed, I might go like this. Change the color, right? Okay, but we all know that we can do that with our brand. But branding goes much deeper. And I want to share with you, being a speaker, which is my second job, and my third job is I'm a college instructor. Being a speaker, one of the interesting things that has happened to me on the road is I am a marketer, and there are some people who are not fond of my profession. They will say, as a marketer, that we sell you things that you don't need, and we play to your emotions, and we have these commercials that we create that make you buy things that you don't need. Well, one of the things that I've been doing in the last 5 years with my company is helping people with their personal brand. So today is about personal brand and personal marketing. How many of you are on Facebook or LinkedIn or you tweet? Raise your hand. How many times do you see someone that you kind of know their brand pretty well, and they write something that just doesn't make sense? Raise your hand if you know those people. Okay, here's the unfortunate piece. We all create our brand by how we communicate, and unfortunately, we don't always stay true to our brand. We can change our brand just like you learned by the mood ring gift that I gave you today. But the interesting piece about us as people is our brands are complex. I'm going to prove this to you, and you're going to help me by answering this question. German engineering, Amish craftsmanship, American made, ingenuity. Okay, what else? Some people say American Idol. Okay. Manufacturing. Okay, so we had American made, American ingenuity, and American manufacturing. Now, please know that great marketing companies created things like German engineering, BMW or Audi, and Mercedes. And as well, I do want to share with you that when it comes to Amish craftsmanship, not to knock the Amish, but my husband bought these beautiful big bookcases made out of cherry that the Amish made for us. They don't line up. Craftsmanship wasn't good. Sorry, I told my husband, he goes, but they're Amish. They're Amish, Catherine. Yeah, but they don't line up, Craig. They don't fit together. So what I want to share with you is that an ad campaign often creates a brand. I want you to put on your marketing and advertising hat, and we're going to take you down a road and a journey. I've given you a workbook. Do not open it. We're just going to talk and have fun. You can use it later. And it's got my email, so you can follow up with me if you need help. Always follow up with me and know there's no charge to do that. I love talking with people about this. Because here's my concern. We live in a world where we have 30-second commercials, and we say that I'm Tom, the car guy. I'm Susie, the salesperson. But you know what? We're really more than that, aren't we? We just learned that American ingenuity, American made, and American manufacturing. I would share with you, I have 3 jobs. 60% of my week is Miracle Resources, my marketing firm. I teach, and then of course I'm a paid public speaker going around the country. So see, I'm 3 things. You're probably 3 or 4 things, correct? So here's how we get to the core. We look at the questions that I'm asked every day. CEOs will call me, my marketing's not working. Can you help me? I'll have people call me, I don't know what I want to do with my life. I'm not sure about my career. Your career is only one piece of your brand. And I want to share with you that we have a very successful client who is a chef. But for 25 years, she was a lawyer. Do you want to know why she was a lawyer? Because her grandmother on her deathbed said, honey, please be a lawyer, it's my dream. For 25 years, she was a lawyer saying, I object, I object, I object, hating that job. I had the opportunity and have the opportunity to work with many job seekers. I help them market themselves through a product we have called Jumpstart Your Job Search. Now, those 750 job seekers that we have touched, I've met people who said, I'm insurance because my uncle was. I'm an accountant because I saw that you could make good money. I really don't like what I do, and I really don't like my clients, but that's why I'm here. Now, I understand we all need a job. Jobs are sometimes journeys to get to the next job. I get that. But when you look at your career, I want you to think what suits your brand and why you're in that career. That's only one piece of our brand. The second part of our brand is our family, how we grew up. You heard Lisa speak today so eloquently about her father. He is a great man. She is her father's daughter. She really is. Now, we look at our families, and how many of you, after a family event, have left and complained about someone said something to you or looked at you the wrong way, and you thought about it and couldn't sleep about it, and you spent days thinking about it? Raise your hand. Our families, we must be clear with our expectations. Most of us in our brand are not educating our family on who we are. Now you're going to say, well, my family doesn't really care who I am. Hang on for a second, it matters, and I'm going to tell you why. One of our clients, we got a phone call, a vice president in the company, participated in a project the whole company did. The whole company did a Facebook page and made sure that they all had their own Facebook and they all became friends with each other, the CEO too, and they asked their family, and they promoted this very large public event for the company. Well, what happened was one of the vice presidents put on her Facebook that they would be having this event. 2 cousins wrote in, I thought you hated your job. I thought you couldn't stand your boss. Now, I don't care what social media policy you have. Any social media policy, she didn't break. But now, everybody in the company knows what she's saying at the family reunion. We have to be much more clear since we live in this world that honestly, you could be tweeting about my speech right now. You could take my picture, put it on Facebook, and it may not be a complimentary picture, let's be honest. You could say in LinkedIn that I said something stupid in a speech. This is the world that we live in. So when we look at our expectations, we must be much more clear with our families. And I don't mean rules. What I mean is stating the things that you want and do not want if we're going to be friends on Facebook, okay? Now, some people say, what about settings? Sure, there's settings. What about separate pages? Sure, there's separate pages. But you know what's kind of interesting, and I want to share this about social media. I have a student who said to me, Mrs. Miracle, there's a picture of me licking my boyfriend's chest on Facebook. And we're broke up, happened 3 years ago. I don't know who put it up, and I want it off. I got my best search engine optimization people, the best people in the world on this stuff. They couldn't get it off. We can't figure out who even posted it. So we are at a point in our lives where everything is very public. So when we look at our brands, if we're true to figuring out who we are, the words that we say, the status updates that we give, the pictures that we post, all go along with that. The times we're going through tough times, that maybe we step back and say, you know what, not feeling my brand today, so guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to lean on what I call my oxygen list. My oxygen list are people I can call and say, I'm having a blank, blank day. And those are 2 bad words. One starts with an F, one starts with an S. You're not going to hear it. But my oxygen list I can trust, and I can say, I'm having a blank, blank day. Like Lisa said, we're very positive people. You're here at Positive Thinkers Network. But our reality, we have tough days. Bad things happen. And how do we get through it? We be true to our brand. And our brand is having the type of people in our lives that we can go to, not posting it for the world to see, correct? So now I want to share with you a little bit as it relates to your culture. We all have personal cultures and we have personal traditions. Then we put everybody in the workplace, and again, I get a call that the company's marketing is terrible. But a lot of times that's not the problem. How many of you have been to a restaurant, they said they were the best restaurant with the best food and they were friendly, and you walked in, they were horrible customer service, and the food sucked? Are you going back? No. Doesn't matter how many ads, doesn't matter how many billboards, doesn't matter how many coupons. You're not going back. When we meet people, our culture dictates how we introduce ourselves. And again, I will send you all of this and all of my slides because there's something I want you to consider. The 30-second commercial is the 30-second commercial. In my company, we say it's the 3 Ps. What's your purpose? What's your passion? And prove to me that you're good at it. Because there are times you don't have much time to meet someone. Your purpose is exactly what you do. For example, Catherine's a marketer. So she's going to market. She's going to get your word out there. That's her purpose. That's how she helps people. Passion. I tell people, stop saying you're passionate. Show me you're passionate. So when we talk about helping someone increase their revenue, helping them get new clients, you can see by the way we say it, we can see the passion. And then prove to me you're good at it. Tell me some of your client names. Tell me a conversational story about the last client you worked with and what helped them. I'll give you a little plug for Maury because I love Maury. I told Maury great, you know? And we walk together, and I'm doing my Motivate shake in the morning. And guys, I lost 17 pounds. And today, I looked in the mirror. I don't know if you've been to that bathroom, but visit the women's bathroom. There's this mirror, and I even asked the staff, I'm like, is that mirror like kind of like one of those funky mirrors where you look real good and you look thinner? And they said, no, they might be lying. What do you think? She'll tell me later. Okay, but bottom line, I look in the mirror, I'm like, wow, is that those mirrors that makes you look a little, but I needed help, do you see? So Maury may say, when she introduces herself, she may say her purpose, which is to help people become healthy. Her passion is to see the light in their eye when they achieve a goal. And her proof, she's just worked with Katherine Miracle and she's lost 17 pounds. Now, when we say something like that, we're using other people's words and other stories. That means we're not boastful. Most of us struggle with these 3 questions. So tell me about yourself. So what's your story? You guys know these typical interview questions. So give us a little story about yourself. People hate that question. Stop hating that question and use the 3 Ps. What is your purpose? How do you help people? Why are you passionate about it? Don't tell me you're passionate, but talk to me about why you're passionate about it. And then prove to me you're good at it. And I tell my friends, I might meet 36 graphic designers in a week. And again, owning a marketing firm, they'd love to work with us. But you know what? If you can't tell me you're good at it, you can't conversationally explain to me how you help someone, tell a little testimonial story, then you're just another one of the 36 I met. Do you see? So when we build our brand, we're helping people understand what we do. So the 3 Ps matter very much. Now I want to talk about our personal relationships, and this is a little bit of a tough one. I wrote a book called Discovering Your Dawn. Discovering Your Dawn is a book I wrote to help my college students. It's in 4 countries right now. My goal, help 1 person. That was my goal. That's my definition of success. If the book helped 1 person. It's about a tsunami I went through in my life, a tragedy that happened. I handled it very poorly. I wrote it to help college students, but now it's helping people in their 60s and 70s and everything in between, and Vietnam veterans, and it basically is overcoming the obstacles in your life and unlocking your potential. But I have to share with you, I had to become vulnerable to share this story. And I also had to realize that I cut off my personal relationships in that bad time. I cut people off. And what I ended up doing was I ended up stopping my relationships from growing. I went into this like cocoon after this tragedy happened, right? And I want to share with you 2 letters, and that is AI, which is appreciative inquiry. How many of you know about it? Raise your hand. Appreciative inquiry, I would love to go around the world and teach it. I think it can change the world. Let me give you an example why. I would like Nikki to work on a project with me. If Nikki's numbers were really good at one time, she made all kinds of money for my company. But then 6 months later, Nikki's numbers aren't so good. And I say, Nikki, why are her numbers down? It doesn't work. But when we say an appreciative inquiry, Nikki, remember when we did so well for that client and they loved it and the numbers were good? What was going on? And she starts telling a story about something she did. She figures it out herself. We've got to let people figure it out themselves. I got a great quote. After I wrote my book, a counselor wrote to me and said, I love your book, it's helped my clients. And he said, my quote to you is, you cannot rescue someone from what they need to learn. I had to learn through my first tsunami how to rebuild my relationships. And your relationships with every word, every body language that you said or communicate, you're either building a bridge or breaking it. So that's why we have to be very, very careful what we say and what we do, right? So I want to take it now to a different level. I talked about health a little bit with Maury, but when we build our brand, our health may not be a number on a scale. Our health may be how we feel. Our health and our emotional health, and I want to talk about our emotional health quite a lot. Emotional health, and again, I have kind of this HR marketing background. Sometimes we put ourselves in a situation, and I got a great quote from a life coach named Kim Kucinich, who said to me, what happened and what did you make it? So the second tsunami in my life, when I went through it, not too long ago, 2009, I went through this big tsunami in my life. Something happened, but I made it so much more than I had to be. Have you ever done that? Raise your hand. Okay, I'm the only one? All right. Let me share with you that when I look at a tsunami and I look at what's happened in our lives, our emotional health, yes, it's great to risk. It's great